Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Saturday. My name is Dylan Blight. Joining me, Ciaran Marchant.
Ahoy, matey.
Ahoy, Captain Marchant.
I can't hear you.
Oh, well, oh. I went SpongeBob for some reason. Did you watch the trailer? They put out a trailer for. I'm going to go watch that movie. Also joining me, Ashley Hobley is also on the couch.
Hey guys, excited for us all to be here, the whole crew again. You know, really excited to be on another episode with Cherie and Nick.
Look, I offed Nick. I got rid of him. He fucking argued with me too much last week. I was like, nah, no more space on this couch.
That was good stuff.
I mean, we thought we curved those habits, Ciaran.
I offed him. I got rid of him. Like, fucking what? You come onto this couch that I have only just returned to myself and you mess with me?
I realize that Ash's joke isn't working because the video version's back this week. But also I remembered that last week, much like the last time we didn't do a video version, I completely forgot to mention it again. Even though I don't think it really matters because the video audience is...
Look, anybody should know.
And again, it did very successfully on YouTube this year.
You got to remember, if Nick's on a show, we can't do video because he's shirtless.
Yeah.
And we can't TOS and all that other crap.
Yeah, YouTube will shut us down. Twitch will shut us down.
Come after us.
We'll
even though it's not on Twitch.
Go to like Pornhub or Campsite or something to put the shows.
We should try uploading on Pornhub once in a while, you know?
Okay.
Just fuck it.
Just put all episodes of Pleasure Explosion up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we're not banned on YouTube. We'll probably get banned under YouTube's new fucking things for having Pleasure Explosion on there. But today on the show, we're going to be going through all of the Game Awards nominees and dropping our predictions. But first, we need to discuss bets. So this year, instead of putting this in off-air discussion, we need to put something on the table for this year. And I think we need to pick something now and then actually make sure it happens. Because Ciaran's yet to own up to his fucking Quiet Man stream that he still owes me for
I'm organising it. I'll check the Steam sale after this and I'll buy Quiet Man. And then I'll organise for the stream. I'll organise it. It'll be up on Twitter. Saturday, by Saturday, there will be... By the time this episode... You're watching this now? Go check Twitter. There'll be an announcement of the Quiet Man stream. Go. Edit this bit out so I'm not forced to do it. Edit.
So what do we want the punishment? Because
cut out and release before this episode comes out. just get people's anticipation up.
Maybe I should. So this week we're going to do our predictions for the awards, who we think is going to win. Next week we're going to do our predictions for like trailers, reveals, that sort of thing. I'm splitting them up this year because last year it ended up with a 3-hour episode. So better to make them across separate episodes.
I guess.
But I want to say, I feel like we should pick a punishment for the person who does the worst. So there's going to be, obviously for the...
So Ciaran.
I'm going try hard this year. Fuck. I'm not even going with meme picks. Half the time I like meme my way through predictions.
What would you say? You want to pick another punishment game? Now, obviously, if we pick a punishment game, me and Ciaran can stream it, and that could be part of the thing. If we pick a punishment game that's made on DOS, then Ash can stream it.
And we'll also have maybe we'll pick like a toolbar related game for
Ask Jeeves the game. What's a really bad like punishment game for this year, do you think?
A really bad what's the worst game of 2019?
I don't know because I haven't played it. IMO. Ash, do you have any off top of your head
ideas of what's garbage, or are you starting to...
No, nothing is springing to mind straight away.
Okay, maybe we should just put it out there then. Give it a week.
We'll put it out there. We'll give it a week. We'll decide next week when we do... Are we separating predictions as well?
What do you mean?
Like, is it all... Even though we're doing it across 2 separate weeks, are they all part of the same prediction scoring system? Or are we doing 2 separate things?
No, we'll score them separately, but then there's an overall. So it's like a 2-round tournament, I guess. You're like, yeah, it's okay, I see. So
Okay, I see.
Okay, I see. So let's say like winner gets 5 points, second place gets 3, last place 2, something like that. So ideally, you could come last in one.
We should have to make somebody stream WWE 2K20 because it's that garbage.
I mean, that's up there, I guess, from what I've heard.
Yes.
It's definitely up there from what I've seen. Yeah. I don't know. Let's sit on it for you. But let's say that.
We'll see.
We're going to pick a crappy
Tweet
game.
us your recommendations.
Yeah, tweet us your recommendations. Like, Quiet Man. No, fuck off.
Quiet Man, I'm already booking this in. You go to Twitter. Go to Twitter right now. You know what? I might have just been like, hey, Quiet Man stream tonight. And you guys will have to hurry and cancel all your plans. You never know.
It'll be a very
Keep
quiet
on your toes.
man stream, I think is what that'll be. All right,
fuck.
Let's jump into some news here. So I've only got a couple things. Of course, I can't say this on this show or Platt. I expect there to be really not much news as we lead up to the Game Awards, so that's fine. Works out splitting the predictions across 2 weeks. But I do want to talk about the Half-Life Alyx reveal, even though we went over briefly last week before it was properly revealed. They've now put out a proper trailer. So as Ciaran explained, and then made me go, oh, that does make sense. Where I was like, Alyx, and I was like, oh, it's literally like Alyx. I didn't know that's how you spell a fucking name. Yes, the game does start Alyx from Half-Life 2. The game is set between Half-Life 1 and 2, so it's a prequel to 2, but a sequel to 1 somewhat, I guess.
It's a pre-sequel.
It's a pre-sequel. These games, take that one, do what you need to do. You're going to have a new character in the game that's voiced by Rhys Darby, which I find quite weird to watch in the trailer because you got this very
welcome to Jumanji.
Yeah, you got this very New Zealand sounding accent that's chucked in along with everything else. You see a bunch of monsters that are zombies and whatever else that are known for the franchise. But obviously, I would say watching the trailer, as long as the game looks as good as this trailer is, this is the best looking VR game I think I've ever seen personally. I think it looks really, really like quality wise quite good. And they've said that it's going to be about 15 hours long. So it's a full length thing. It's coming to everything but PSVR is more or less what it boils down to. Like all your Oculus things, even my Oculus Quest, thanks to the you can plug it in with the cable now to your PC and turn it into a semi-Rift through that system. Of course, it's been made for the Valve index in mind because that's Valve's system. Jeff Keighley put out this 20-minute video where he's talking to some of the developers about the game. I watched that. That was interesting. It was good to see that Jeff, I think that people still don't give Jeff enough respect for the journalistic side of him prior to being the presenter that he is now. But when he's doing something like this, he's still being quite good at questioning because he doesn't shy away from the questions that he knows that people want to hear. You know, he's like Half-Life 3, this, why is this a VR only game? Like, why isn't there a non-VR version? All these sorts of things. So that's kind of what I wanted to tackle as. What was everyone's impressions of the trailer though before I get to the VR only aspect of it?
It looked like Half-Life. It looked like, I don't know, it's interesting. I think there is an interesting period of time to explore in between Half-Life 1 and 2 just because
such a big gap.
A big gap. So much seems to happen. And all that Morgan is... Gordon Freeman? Gordon Freeman.
Yeah, you got it.
All that Gordon's told in Half-Life 2 is just explained through exposition and the characters he meets and what he sees. To actually play through more of the situation, maybe seeing it develop a lot more, seeing it in the earlier stage, would be really interesting. It's a lot like, in other games, I'd be really interested in seeing the development of the world in The Last of Us. I think there's always that period of time in these games that they skip to get to the juicier bit or to the time period that the story takes place in, which always makes you kind of want to go back and explore that middle chunk to see exactly what's happening.
Yeah, I'm not like a massive Half-Life person, but I feel like I'm obviously quite keen for this based on the trailer. I mean, the VR stuff, it's like the biggest, potentially the highest budget VR game we've had so far. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously it's Half-Life. Ash, you've never played any Half-Life, have you? That was the thing with...
No, I have not.
No.
It looked graphically pretty.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like that Aspire game that recently came out. It's just the hands. Yeah. Just because of the hands and the way the VR is. It looks like the next level from Blood and Truth or something like that. So.
Yeah, I know people comparing it to Blood and Truth. I'm like, this game, like quality wise, this looks
way
so much better than Blood and Truth. And I like Blood and Truth fine, but
and it continues to point of just I don't know if it was one of us that was talking about it last week or on another podcast I've listened to throughout the week.
All the same.
That Half-Life has always been on the forefront of change.
I said that last week.
You said that last week? Yeah. I was like, I feel like I remember Dylan saying that.
I think a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people say it since.
Yeah,
well, so.
I just didn't want Dylan to get credit for something that's so smart.
No, I think everyone said it because
that frames so well. Yeah. But it really does shine light on that this could be the game that gives us a quote-unquote proper full experience of a VR game. Like a full proper game in VR. And if they do that, Valve's done it again. Like, I think they win a lot of brownie points back from people that might be a bit against Valve for different choices they've made in recent history.
I've seen two interesting sides of the fence for this because there's people in my side who aren't like massive Half-Life fans. And you're like, cool, like Valve putting a bunch of money behind a VR game. This looks really cool. I can't wait to try this out. Whatever. Massive Half-Life fans who don't have VR are like, well, this is bullshit. Why can't you just make a non-VR version? I've seen a lot of people be like, well, there's other games that there's non-VR versions made for. Like, why couldn't they just do one? They cover that in the Jeff Keighley video where they say that the hand motions of this game is so... Like, there's so much precise. And
there's no way to replicate it.
Yeah, they literally say there's no way to replicate it. Yeah. A lot of these other games that they make VR versions and non-VR versions are very simple, like, actions that they can map them two ways. But this game being designed for the Index and those controllers for the Index are the most, like, give you the most hand motions. So that's how the game was designed. And they're like, well... In the video of Jeff Keighley, they basically say if they were to make it for mouse and keyboard, they would nearly need to assign a bunch of other keys on top of your WASDs to be able to, as well as the mouse, to be able to control like the hands movements or whatever else. So they just say it's not possible for them to make a version like that.
And even then, do you really want a company like Valve, if they're going to put all this money into it, you want them to do VR properly. You don't want to half-ass it and have kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, being like, we'll appease everybody else by making this a console game. Because at the end of the day, making it to be able to be played in another form would be taking away from the VR. And I think, I don't see this entirely as a Half-Life game. I think it is hopefully it's going to be more of a demonstration of what VR can be. It's just using Half-Life as the vehicle to do it.
Yeah.
It's just using that to draw more people in and get more people's interest.
2 points that you just brought up in that Jeff Keighley video as well that they hit on are that they said that they thought about making it in tandem and like having a non-VR version in mind, but they said if they did that, they would constantly be like, even if they didn't think they were, like restricting themselves creatively in their mind, being like, oh, we can't do that because it would be too hard for the non-VR version kind of thing. Whereas if they commit to the VR version, it's like the floodgates open and you can just do whatever you need to do. And then they also went on about the... I forgot what was the second thing you brought
up. Using it as a demonstration for what VR can be.
Yeah. In the video, they also say that I can't remember the name of it, but Valve made this mini game collection basically for the VR headsets and stuff. And in that video, they're like, we thought this was like a massive, huge VR game, but as cool as it is, they're like, we realize that the VR audience want something like a AAA. That's what people are desiring. They're not just desiring like a small, well-designed VR game. They're desiring a AAA blockbuster game. So when they sat down to make this game, they didn't sit down to make a Half-Life game. They literally say in the video, we sat down, like, what properties we got? Counter-Strike? We're not doing that. We're not making a multiplayer game because we just don't think VR's right for multiplayer right now. There are successful, semi-successful multiplayer games in VR, but they're like, we're not doing that. We can't do what we want. So like, well, that's out. So then they said they boiled it down to being like, okay, we're going to make Half-Life or Portal. And they said they kicked around the ideas of Portal, but then they realized quickly that Portal is all about like such fast momentum that they realized they're just going to make everyone throw up. Ooh. So
it would be it'd be so bad. Some of the puzzles where in the game you've had to like jump off
so
a massive jump and then launch yourself.
Imagine doing those things where you loop through holes like
that would not go well. No, thank you.
So they thought about that and they're like, okay, well, not Portal, so I guess we're doing Half-Life.
Think of all the money they could have made doing like a vomit bag accessory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's money I need to hear about.
No, I'm good, thanks.
No, I'm good also. Yeah, so it's not like they went out and they're like, we want to make a Half-Life game, and then they suddenly decided to make it VR. They sat down wanting to make a big VR game and to play with VR as a technology because they're wanting to... They find VR good and interesting and they want to push that. And then they ended up on a Half-Life game. And in that interview of Jeff, he does ask, like, well, when you sat down and were like, okay, we're making a Half-Life game, why didn't you just make Half-Life 3? And they basically admitted that they're too scared to touch it. Like, they're like,
it's such a... that's a scary... Whoever, unless if they already have somebody doing it, like, cool. But whoever has the balls to... like, or who has that courage to take on that property now, you've got massive respect to you because even just taking it on is a huge thing. But you're almost in a losing position from the get-go.
I'm at the stage now where I believe they've probably cancelled it 10 times over, different versions. Jeff Keighley is going to have another, like this final hours of Half-Life Alyx thing coming out early next year when they're closer to the game's release, and in that he's teased that they're going to be covering not only this game but also like what's been happening with Valve over the last 10 years or 20 years, whatever it is.
Just rolling in buckets of money.
Yeah, basically. But it sounded like he was teasing that there is story to Half-Life 3, that it does sound like they probably started it and cancelled it several times over and then eventually gave up. So I think if this does well though, then it's also like a tick in them continuing to make VR games, but also maybe back into game making in general. It does seem like Valve is more interested in getting it back into games now, especially now that they've actually got competition in the client marketplace, which to his credit, Jeff also straight up says in that video, he's like, you know, like, are you getting back into games now because you've got some competition in Epic Games? And the dude's like, you can't say those words inside this house, like the naughty words.
Did he just say that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. All right. So next story, Battleborn is shutting down.
I just want to touch on one interesting thing about this story. Was it came out that people from Campo Santo are working on Half-Life Alyx, which has caused everybody to freak out that In the Valley of the Gods is not coming.
So I've seen everyone freaking out about this. I refuse to kind of join the freak out train until I see proof. You know, because
the game's not on their website anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to say
it's still on Steam.
I want to wait until I hear or see a bit more. Like, and I especially don't want to. I don't want to start the narrative of that game was cancelled because they had to do this game instead or something like that. You know? Like,
nobody wants that to do.
I want to hear actually what happened, not just start assuming that Valve's like shut down one game.
Game Awards 2 years ago?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
And they were a small team, but then
definitely.
You know, they got brought up
and they got bought.
Yeah, and now they got put to work on other stuff. So,
fuck, Firewatch is really old now.
It's very old.
Does not feel like it's old.
No, it's very, very, very old. Very, very, very old. Yeah. So, Overwatch is shutting down in 2021. Writes Kotaku.
Yeah.
Don't know if you heard.
2021.
Nathan Greisman writes, despite a small crowd of diehards who went so far to organize events and attempt to save the game, Overwatch seems destined to go down in the history as a high-profile flop. 2 years ago, developer Battle.net halted up.
What the
I don't know why I couldn't do that joke. So the real story says Battleborn is shutting down in 2021. Despite a small crowd of diehard fans who went far as to organize events and attempt to save the game, Battleborn seems destined to go down in history as a high-profile flop. 2 years ago, developer Gearbox halted updates to the already shot hero shooter. Today, publisher 2K announced plans to sunset the game entirely. On Twitter, 2K said that in January 2021, Battleborn servers will be deactivated and the game will become unplayable. Like it already wasn't. It's already been delisted from stores. In February of next year, 2K will pull the plug on players' ability to purchase virtual currency. In the gap between the money store turning off lights and the end of the line in 2021, players will still be able to spend currency they previously purchased or continue to earn. Aside from the currency stuff, nothing else in the game will change until January 2021 when the servers go offline, according to 2K's post. I got to be completely honest. I did not know people were playing. Yeah. I did not know people were playing this game still.
It's okay. It's an alive game apparently, almost dead. Also, 2021 feels like a very long fucking time.
Well, it's basically a year.
That's very nice. That's a very nice.
It's very generous.
That much notice.
I would expect like such a flop as Battleborn just to be like, by the way, guys, next month, it's gone. Like, just fucking see ya.
I mean, clearly there must be like a dedicated fan base that is keeping this game
the
alive.
Story that they wrote, the one they talk about in that article, also wrote by Kotaku, says Battleborn players rally to save the game on Battleborn Day. There's a thing apparently. November 12th.
Yeah.
Tired of seeing a perfectly good game plagued with low server populations. The Battleborn Reddit has organized a special day to help new players get into the game, and the devs are backing them up with special bonuses throughout the weekend. Battleborn is a great competitive co-op shooter that got a bad rap. The marketing was spotty. The choice to release the game in the same window as Blizzard's Overwatch was insane, and technical problems at launch turned away more than a few players that would otherwise have given the game a fair shake. After months of foreign talk about trying to save the game without getting much accomplished, Redditor BKNDX decided it was time to act, saying, so let's talk about why it didn't succeed at the beginning. Overwatch competition, lackluster marketing, bug glitches, and balancing issues. As time went on, the problems shifted to low player base and a large skill gap matches. So the question is, how do we bring new players and keep them? Well, if we can't get an event going for a day when we can get as many players online to play as many games as they can, this will solve matchmaking issues and allow everyone to try the game. As a community of high-level elites, we should recognize that if we get this going, there's going to be a huge influx of noobs. We should do our best not to pub stomp and ruin their first impressions of the game. So please, no double legendary loadouts. Experiment with new characters and try to keep away from the meta. We will shoot for the second Saturday of November, blah, 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 blah. And then Gearbox joined in by saying, yeah, get double XP and all this sort of stuff. So it sounds like there's like a very small niche group of people playing the game and they just play each other.
Wow,
Ciaran. That post instantly, as somebody who I don't even know what Battleborn looks like.
Overwatch.
Like, I don't even know what it
Overwatch, but prettier.
It looks like Overwatch.
Did Ash just say but prettier? Did Ash just fucking Ash? How dare you? Why is Arcade Couch Ash back now? This is bullshit.
Honest, Overwatch has just ripped this game apart. I mean, it is cannibalized it. The big differentiator between the two was that they had the PvE element to the game where you could like team up for co-op missions,
which Overwatch is getting now.
Overwatch is doing that.
This game's dying. Overwatch is ripping off its content. You want to co-op, guys? All right, you can have co-op when Battleborn's dead. Battleborn dies. All right, you get co-op now. Overwatch 2. Here we come, baby. Fuck you, Gearbox.
It's okay. They're just preparing to launch Battleborn 2, right?
I mean,
right, guys? Right?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe.
I wouldn't expect them to have learned any lessons. That was still the funniest thing. Let's bring out Overwatch and Battleborn on the same game.
The funniest.
Same. I remember that day. All right, rest in peace, I guess. I mean,
it's not dead yet. There's still time to save it.
Yeah, okay. You get on there and you play the game, Ash. Then
Ash, you can do it. You know what? Even like for a community.
Well, I think we found the game that we're going to be playing for the loser.
Yes, 100%. Let's do it.
Loser has to play 6 hours. And if you can't find a match, you've got to stay in queue for the full time.
Let's do it.
Lock it in.
How do we get it though? It's not in stores anymore.
No, it's still in stores till.
Didn't it say it's already removing it from stores?
Pre-owned copy, surely.
Yeah.
We're looking it up now. We're
a pre-owned copy.
Yeah, I'm saying
fucking not playing this on console.
If you have to,
February next year, I think.
I can order it now for $4.
$4. That's even worse. You can have to spend money on it.
$4 on EV Games pre-owned. It's usually $8.
Like,
Christmas sale.
Gotcha.
Do you need a copy now? I can zip pay it.
Looks like we're playing Well, looks like Ashley's playing Battleborn.
Looks like Ciaran's playing Battleborn.
Don't.
No one will tell difference. People going, oh, he's playing Overwatch. No, guys, it's Battleborn.
It's fucking
I know, they look very similar.
Leave me alone.
Why have you just been streaming being in queue for 2 hours? Because that's the game.
Can I, if I'm streaming Battleborn's queue, can I have it like in a corner down the bottom left while I play something else?
I'll allow it.
No.
No, I
Just
just
like-
sit there. Is that's almost as much of a punishment as you have to sit there and watch the queue. Like, you have to entertain yourself.
You have to enjoy
while
every
watching
single
the queue.
second of it. I don't know where you get it online. Is it on Steam? Or what? Where would it be?
No. Would it be Epic Store?
No, Epic Store didn't exist back in the day.
Yeah, but would it move to? Because a lot of 2K stuff is on
It's on free trial. It's on Steam. Free trial.
free trial.
Free trial.
Free trial.
Yeah.
How lucky are we?
Get bloody pumped, you know. Free PvP trial available right now. Get amped, everyone. How much is the full game upgrade?
PvP trial.
To upgrade to the full game costs, it doesn't say. So let's assume it's free. It says you need the base game to play it. Yeah, I know. All right, but the base game's free. So like, how much does it cost, my dude?
How much does it cost, mate?
We've spent long enough on this bit. The bit will continue when someone has to play it. That we're locking in. I know we said wanted your opinions like half an hour ago. Don't need your opinions anymore. The game is
Don't need your
Battleborn.
opinion
The
anymore.
game is Battleborn.
Sometimes you come across genius and it
Sometimes you're chipping away and you just find it. The last news story.
Okay, so
Yeah, okay.
yeah, okay, go.
You want to spend time on the
No.
Battleborn joke?
No.
Last news story comes from GameIndustry.Biz. The Pokemon Company sues Pokemon Sword and Shield leakers. The Pokemon Company has filed a suit against at least 3 unknown US individuals for leaking early images of Pokemon Sword and Shield monsters and gameplay info. Forbes reports that a lawsuit filed in the Western District Court of Washington at Seattle targets 3 unknown US residents who took, quote, illicit pictures of pages from an unreleased strategy guide for Sword and Shield and distributed those images across Discord and 4chan over the course of 15 hours in early November. The suit goes on to argue that these images, which include images of the game's Gigamax forms for the Champ, Eevee, Garbodor, and Kingler, as well as several of new Pokemon and characters, constituted valuable trade secrets that disrupted the Pokemon Company's plans to market the game leading up to its launch. The Pokemon Company is seeking damages and relief, attorney fees, and the prevention of the defendants from using its confidential information in the future. However, the lawsuit does not specifically identify any of the 3 individuals concerned, though it has screenshots of their Discord names. The Pokemon Company only names Joe/Jane Does as defendants and has hired investigators to uncover their names. Forbes additionally reports that the Pokemon Company has requested a subpoena on Discord and 4chan to obtain their help in identifying the leakers. And the story ends by saying, just last month, Epic Games filed a suit against a tester for leaking Fortnite Chapter 2's details. It did the same thing to another former employee in June of 2018 over different said leaks. It seems every week people are getting sued. Fucking 2K was going after people for Borderlands on Discord leaks and all this sort of stuff.
Yep.
So what do you reckon? Should Pokemon Company calm the hell down or good on them?
No.
Fuck them.
Zap them. Hit them with that
Do
water
it.
gun.
Go. They're on 4chan of all places. Get them.
Fire charge.
So what I mean about every time it's Discord as well, though? It's like 4chan and Discord. Every time these leaks happen.
I told you. Discord.
It's a naughty
Discord.
And obviously they use the username attached to their real life account. Stupid.
No, they would have found it by now then if they did, because that's what that other person did. They attached their Facebook name, whatever. The leaker of was that Fortnite or Borderlands? I can't remember now.
I think it was
Borderlands one. They was selling access to a Discord. Is what happened.
Yes, these people were just handing information off in, I guess, Pokemon Discords and subreddits and whatever the hell else.
So weird.
Yeah, I'm for it. You know,
I just think they should have a bit more panache, like you get the thing, and then you invite your top buyers to some kind of party. You have a party as the face of it. You have an auction in the back, like bit of panache. Don't just go online and do this stuff.
Or come out in matching uniforms, with some sort of letter on it in a certain color.
Yeah, maybe not. I think the important thing for these stories is it all comes down to how they obtained the strategy guide in this case. Like, so for example, if someone was walking down the street a week before Pokemon's release and randomly, I know it's a weird scenario, but let's just go to prove a point. They randomly walking down the street and they just see a strategy guide just sitting on a bus stop. Someone left it there. And they find it and they take some pictures, they put it on Twitter. I think that person's in the right. They've just randomly found that. They weren't looking for it. It's just fucking sitting there. Go for gold.
Sometimes you're randomly cleaning somebody's house and you look under the bed and you find a strategy guide.
Yeah.
Is that
or a
silly?
script?
Or a script.
But I think the important part comes down. It's like if they work for certain game companies or where, like in a warehouse or something, and they've like
publishing companies,
something, and they've like stolen a product from their workplace or whatever, which is what actually happens all the time with these stories. Then like they're breaking laws to upload illegal data. They didn't just randomly find it. It's like all the Ubisoft leaks. These people randomly seeing stuff on trains or buses, wherever, people reading files on the computers, and people put that information on Twitter. They're fine. That person was reading it in public.
Yeah.
The
Tomb Raider thing.
Yes.
Back in the day.
That was in public. So I think those people are fine. All these things are completely different. It really comes down to what exactly is going on. But I'd say in this case, as long as these people didn't randomly find the guides, which I'd say they didn't, or else they wouldn't be going after them. And I highly doubt anyone Pokemon's just sitting on a train or wherever reading these things. Unlike Ubisoft, which their employees don't get taught secrecy apparently. I think this is a lot different. So again, it'll be interesting to see if they actually all these stories we always read about them starting, but we're yet to read like anyone actually getting locked up or charged like a ridiculous amount of money or something. We're always reading about like the start or like people going after them. It's going to be interesting, hopefully, within the next 6 months that we
hopefully somebody gets fucked over.
Fucking hell!
I was just like, hopefully,
just to set a precedence.
Yeah.
Scare some people. It's like when the guy got done for swatting.
Yeah, but someone got swatted like last week, so I mean, it's still happening.
I mean, it probably reduced swatting by a little.
I would hope so, considering that person got locked up for quite a long time. You'd think it would turn people off it, but swatting isn't literally happened last week, I read, so people are still dickheads. All right, so one game we want to talk about what we've been playing this week. Hearthstone Battlegrounds is the Hearthstone Battle Royale where you play as a card and you drop into the arena. You go around.
Yugimoto throws you out there. You you are summoned and you send things to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, got him. No, it's the what do you describe it as? The card.
It's Hearthstone Auto Battler.
Auto Battler.
Auto Battlers. Auto Battler.
Auto Chess.
I gotta be honest, completely forgot that this was the thing. Well, not that it was a thing, but like it was available.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they kind of. I feel like it was a thing they mentioned at BlizzCon and then nobody said anything since.
Yeah. I remember being like, I'll try that, but then completely forgot it even existed like a day later. So how is it?
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I mean, it feels very different to your Teamfight Tactics or your Auto Chess, just because of the layout of the field, where it's just a Hearthstone field. You lay down your up to 7 minions at one time, and they fight each other like in order from left to right. They attack. It got all the Hearthstone rules. You've got death rattles. You've got taunts. You've got battle cries and everything. They complete very different gold system where you start with 3 gold. No, yeah, you start with 3 gold, go up to 10, but every card costs 3.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's like a 5-star card, it costs 3 gold. So that mixes up a little bit, makes it more incentivized, I guess, to a degree, to pick up
high
level cards.
Yeah.
Also because your gold doesn't stack.
Also gets wiped every turn. Okay.
It's wiped every turn. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm not doing very well. I think best is like 4th so far. I mean,
well, here's my questions. Important ones. First one, when we talked about this originally, we said it literally just looked like the Hearthstone game. But you're saying when you're playing it, that does actually feel like an auto battler, not you're just playing the chess. You're not just playing Hearthstone. It does feel like an actual auto battler because it just looks like
it does
Hearthstone.
feel a little bit like Hearthstone. You want to be using the effects of different things to power up your minions so they can be stronger than the other minions, which is another thing. You can tell which ones are stronger, what attack power they've got, whereas in the other ones you don't know as much. Yeah, you've got a basic idea, like if you're 2 stars, it's like, yeah, that's going to knock out a 1-star guy, but you don't know the exact damage it's doing every single turn. This one you definitely do. Yeah, so what else?
Yeah, so,
but yeah, I mean, aesthetically, it looks like Hearthstone, so yeah. It does feel like a little bit like a Hearthstone game, like playing, but you don't have to remember all the rules, I guess.
Oh well, that was the other thing I was going to say, because I feel like for the League of Legends one, that it's not super helpful to know the characters. But at the same time, knowing some of the weapons helps, I would say, more than other things, like when you have to grab the weapon upgrades in that game. The characters...
Yeah, just visual things.
Yeah, visual things help in that game. The Dota one, I definitely felt like I needed to know all the characters to understand which ones to be able to pick. And obviously the original auto chess wasn't like that because it was all brand new characters and whatever. So it was just like you kind of learnt them as you went along. Does this feel like, where would you rank this amongst like the Dota one plus the League one, as you need to know the game it's based on to be able to enjoy?
I think probably the least.
Oh, really?
Because obviously they're cards. They tell you what the card, tell you the attack, the defense, and then what effects it has. Obviously, you just need to know the basics of what each effect does. So Battle Cry is as soon as you play that card, the effect is done straight away. Death Rattle is as soon as that card dies, it has an effect. And then Taunt is made, so that is the one they have to attack first. They have
either of you played Underlord since the big update?
No.
No, okay, fair enough.
Why? What did it do?
Yeah. They changed the game's mechanics. You now have different like avatars that you play as that do different things and have different abilities that affect the game.
Oh, okay.
And I think they changed some of the characters and bits and pieces like that.
That's another thing with this is that obviously with Hearthstone you get like the Paladin and the War Chief. There's a bunch of different characters that they automatically select, and you just have an option between 2. Some of them are really interesting effects, like you can power up. Some of them are passive ones that just automatically happen. Some of them you have to like pay coins in order to activate. So that kind of adds another layer of strategy to the game. I feel like there is a ton of strategy in this game. It's like potentially much deeper than the other ones. Like on the surface, it like seems super easy, but especially when you get further into the game, it gets super hectic. And I feel like I wish it had a little bit more time between turns, just so I can get all the moves that I want to do.
Why are they really? Do you have to move, like act really fast? Are they like 20 seconds or something?
Yeah, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. But when you're reading the cards because you're starting out, and then you're trying to figure out which order you want to put stuff in to get the best effects in order. I mean, more time is helpful, but then you don't want to waste all. You want to use up all your gold at the same time because it's all going to go to waste again. So yeah, there's a lot to think about, and towards the end, when characters are like super powerful, like I think I just played a game where one of the other guy's minions was like 34 and 34 attack, 34 defense, and it's like, hey, you're supposed to beat that. Suddenly you're like, fuck.
Is this on this is on your laptop or is this on your phone as well?
It's on both.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend the PC version.
Yeah,
I think it comes with a toolbar.
I think for all of these, when I've tried all the mobile versions, the PC versions are way better because you can like hover over stuff for information and all this sort of stuff. It just makes it way easier to play. And also just being able to use the mouse and be like click, 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 slide. It's like way easier than playing on your phone. I mean, if you've only got the phone, then or you want to play on the go, sure, but yeah.
Then the one annoyance that I have with the game is if you've got your full 7 minions on the field, you can't trade in the cards in your hand.
You can't. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you can't ditch any.
Like because you can't pull them across to where you're supposed to. It's like on the other side of the board where you're supposed to ditch them.
Oh, okay.
It won't let you go there.
You can't manually destroy any of your.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
There might be some controls, but I haven't seen any.
Mm-hmm. You gonna keep playing it, or?
Yeah, I think so. At least try and get my score back up to the middle. So,
why do you have a ranking going or something?
Yeah, it's got a ranking. You know, it's Hearthstone. They've got to have rankings for everything. So I think the base is 4,000. I think I'm like at 3,600.
Jeez, bloody noob.
Yeah, I know, right?
3,600 noob. Oh my god.
But yeah. I mean, it's got potential. I mean, it definitely feels different to the other chess one, auto battlers, just because of the aesthetic wise. It looks completely different. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential.
Cool.
In this one.
Cool. Let's jump into our Game Awards 2019 predictions, winners, losers. They'll be here. They'll be in this room. They'll be in this couch. They'll be at the Game Awards. They'll be in Los Angeles. They're coming and going.
And then somebody will be playing Battleborn.
And someone will be playing Battleborn.
Oh, it's going to end up as me, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll find out in like an hour when we get through all these.
So I'm gonna say, like, last year I was like making sure everyone, pick your prediction, then pick your personal pick. This year I'm just gonna say, if you want to throw out, if you have a personal pick for something and you want to mention it, then just feel obligated. Feel really obligated. No, feel free to mention that if you want, but I'm not going to be asking for everyone's personal picks as we go because don't have some for some or whatever. I'm doing the list backwards, back to fuck, as it is on the website. So that's the way we're doing it if you want to play it long at home for some reason or whatever. So I'm going to go Ciaran, Ash, then me. And that's why we're going to do it. So for the first category, we've got Best VR/AR Game, Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, Trover Saves the Universe. Ciaran, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go Beat Saber on this one. I think Beat Saber has had the largest overall impact, not just VR specific. Like, I think Beat Saber has been the largest acknowledged in the gaming world this year. So Beat Saber.
Ash.
Yeah, it's hard to go past Beat Saber. I mean, it's the phenomenon. Getting all those TikTok videos and that kind of stuff.
I'm also going.
But I mean, No Man's Sky is. I would not be surprised if No Man's Sky picks up the win here. I feel like that was such
Did No Man's Sky receive that much?
It's a whole fucking game in VR. So, I mean,
yeah. Okay. And did lots of the judges would have played it, or
I think a fair people did. I think a lot of people tried it out when it released. I mean, I know I fucking tried it. So
yeah, we talked about it on Platinum Explosion episode.
Something. Yeah, that's right. I think a lot of people jumped back in because a lot of people were like, you know what, No Man's Sky, didn't love it, but VR might be fun. So
I mean, just on the back of all the praise for the past couple of updates they've done.
Yeah. And the VR update released at the same time as a big update to No Man's Sky in general. So there was a bunch of new content plus VR was made available. So yeah. But I'm going Beat Saber because it's Beat Saber. And they just got brought up by Oculus Studios. So I mean, they're the biggest.
Beat Saber 2 coming soon.
Only the Oculus.
No. Just more audio packs. Music packs.
Strategy games, the next category. Age of Wonder, Planetfall, Anno 1800, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Total War 3 Kingdoms, Tropico 6, Wargroove. Ciaran, what are you thinking?
I'm going to chuck in Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Yeah, okay. The Weeb game. Ciaran, Ash.
Yeah, I'm also going Fire Emblem. I think if this doesn't pick up an award, there's going to be riots.
But I also think it's the most commercial of all of those just there, which I think kind of lends itself to getting the victory here.
Well, I'm going Total War because I feel like,
is it really Total War 3 Kingdoms?
Yeah, is it? Unless I've spelled something wrong.
No.
I mean, it's possible.
No, I'm just surprised that it's 3 Houses, 3 Kingdoms.
Oh, okay. I was like, is there something? I mean, it's possible.
Tropico 6, damn it. We should have been 3 countries.
Tropico 3 Tropicals.
3 islands.
3 islands, yeah. No, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, yes, it's a strategy game, but I don't think people view it as a strategy game. They view it as a Weeb RPG. More so than a strategy game. So, taking that out of the equation, I'm going to say that Total War, yeah.
I think there's still the people that played Fire Emblem and even reviewers that played Fire Emblem would outweigh the people that have played strategy games in this.
I would say the people voting for Fire Emblem in this category would be the people who don't play any of these other games. But the people that do play these other games are not going to vote for Fire Emblem, if you know what I mean.
But I think I would lead myself to believe that more people don't play these types of games, but would play Fire Emblem. I think you'd be
surprised.
Well, I think if they haven't played enough of the games, they might not vote on this category.
Okay, fair.
Possibly. I don't know one thing I did find out about how these awards votings work this year, as our continued knowledge of how they work grows, is that Jeff actually brings in separate people to vote for the esports awards and stuff. So it's not like, oh, you have to vote for all of the awards. He doesn't force it. Mm-hmm. He brings in people who actually have knowledge and care.
Knowledge of the field.
Yeah, for that. So it's not just hey, random video game outlet that doesn't care about esports, vote for esports awards. The people are brought in for that stuff. So I think that's good, obviously. All right, so sports racing game. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, Dirt Rally 2.0, Football Pro Evolution Soccer 2020, F1 2019, FIFA 20. My little asterisk I'm going to add to this, and I think I probably said the last year the same thing, I think they should be separate categories. IMO. Sports and racing.
So weird.
Should be separate. There's another category.
Is there enough racing games to fill out a racing category?
Yes. Is there enough good ones?
Okay.
No, I don't think so. But at the same time,
chuck in all the mobile games,
Yeah. I mean,
be able to get a list real quick.
I mean, how many games do you need for the thing? I don't know. Anyway. Ciaran, what are you thinking?
I think it's because it's the only one that I find is different and it has probably done enough to be refreshing in this category that I'm gonna go with Crash Team Racing.
Collusion, they announced it last year, so
yeah, true.
Ash,
I'm gonna go with FIFA. I feel like it's a safe bet.
I'm also gonna go with FIFA. Solely because it's FIFA. I'm I don't know what else is here. This is also another reason why I think the categories should be split, because it's you put FIFA up against everything else and it's there's not enough sports game categories, but then the
Forza Horizon 4 won last year, so.
That is true, actually. That was a good point. Rightfully so. Score and music, another category that I'll just outward say that they should be completely separate categories, because this is, I don't have the description quite in front of me, but the description is a use of licensed music or original music for a game. And in my opinion, if you want to rate a game for licensed music and be last year, everyone was raving about Red Dead Redemption 2's use of music, right? But then it shafts original music for video games. And I think that should be able to stand on its own 2 feet separately. So yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Celeste got robbed.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. They're two completely different things, and I think being able to use good licensed music is a skill of its own, and then obviously creating original music for a game is a skill of its own. They should be completely separate, but nonetheless, here we are. So nominees.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. You're not going to show either award, so.
Well, yeah, on the
night. So
no.
Why would you separate them?
They didn't last year.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, they played the songs last year. Did they not do the award?
I think they separated it last year. I can remember there being 2 categories for it.
No, it says
No,
score,
I'm thinking
soundtrack.
of sound design. I'm thinking of sound design.
Yeah, no, they had them the same last year. But like last year, they did the whole Oscars type thing where throughout the show they were playing.
Yeah.
They did that one big performance. Sorry, they did that one big performance where they combined a whole heap of the Game of the Year nominees songs into one big musical
That was
piece.
last year because
That was previous year, I think.
No, it was last year because Celeste was there and Lena Raine got up there and played with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was one year with Mario Odyssey, was it there? Was that last
That was the previous year.
Yeah.
Previous year? Yeah.
It all blurs together, these Game Awards,
Yeah, years go fast. I know what you're saying. Nominees for score and music: Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, Sayonara Wild Hearts. Another thing is, like, when you're reading a list, it's like, what is which one nominated for? But then also it doesn't matter because they're just all combined. But it's like Cadence of Hyrule is obviously nominated for its original music. Is Death Stranding nominated for either or both? I mean, no, it's all original. Like, they're remixes. So it's still original. Devil May Cry 5.
Not really.
I mean, you want to take that it's original.
I mean, if I remix a version of Zelda theme,
yeah,
pretty sure Nintendo are going to come on get their cut.
Yeah, no, but
so that is technically licensed.
It's licensed plus original. It's like a combination, I guess. Okay. And then like Kingdom Hearts 3 is obviously original. Sayonara.
I don't want to die on the sales cells.
Yeah. Ciaran, what are you thinking?
I think this one's kind of hard for me because I've only played 2 of them and I know both of them aren't going to do well. I'm between Sayonara Wild Hearts and Death Stranding, and I feel like I'm just going to go with safety and go Death Stranding.
Okay, you're like, I'm between these 2 games and I'm going with this one. Ash, what are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going Death Stranding.
Yeah, I'm also going with Death Stranding.
Yeah.
That game's the only one here that ticks both boxes. So I feel like it just automatically wins.
Yeah.
Like, it's got really good original music and it's got a really good licensed music soundtrack. So
that is utilized well.
Yeah. So, I mean, doesn't it just win off default by being the one game that categorizes both words in that thing? Next category is role-playing game. Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy XIV, Kingdom Hearts 3, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and The Outer Worlds. Ciaran.
It's where I go between my heart and my head. And I'm going to make myself play Battleborn by saying The Outer Worlds.
Going with your heart, I guess, is the...
Yeah, I'm going with my heart.
Ash.
I'm going Disco Elysium.
Oh.
Shout out to Lord Empire.
Yeah, that was my head.
Glowing
my head
Twitter
choice
review.
was over
he
Disco.
Needs to bring back the hashtag Nick's Mini Reviews.
Yeah.
I found this one a hard one. Personally. Yeah?
Yeah.
What was you going to say?
I mean, if the bunch of games hadn't come out that have currently come out, I would be playing Disco Elysium right now.
I've got it installed. I just haven't got around to
You've
it.
got it.
I brought it when it came out.
I'm really hoping this Steam style, it's going to pop up.
Yeah, I brought it the day it released because there was a news story up in Kotaku that was like, hey, this game's just released, and by the way, it's got like drug use in it, so if you want to play it, probably buy it now before it gets banned. And I was like, good tip. And it still hasn't got banned, but whatever. At least I
mean, it's so small that...
I was trying to be prepared, yeah.
It's so indie that it hasn't been banned.
It's getting around the system. Yeah, I'm going to... Honestly... I think I'm going to go to Outer Worlds because solely based on the, it's a 90% of those, 90% of the voters come from those 80 outlets. And in my mind, how many of them have actually played Disco Elysium? I'm going to say, I would say not many, to be honest. So I feel like it would come down to either the Outer Worlds or honestly Monster Hunter. In my opinion. I don't know.
But that's Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Yeah.
That's a DLC.
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, next category. Performance. Ashley Birch as Pravati Holcomb in The Outer Worlds. Courtney Hope as Jesse Faden in Control. Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz in Gears 5. Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff in Death Stranding. Matthew Porretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. And Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding. Ciaran.
I really... It's hard because I don't want to play Battleborn. If we weren't doing that stupid bet, I'd probably go with my heart here. But
it was a good idea to actually make this.
What's your heart?
It was a good idea to make sure people can't meme this year.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. Ash, what are you thinking?
I think I'm going to go Norman Reedus.
Ooh. Ooh.
I mean, they went with Roger Clark last year.
Are you looking up all last year's nominees on your phone to help you pick this year's stuff?
Yeah. This is important.
Now.
I really want Ciaran to play Battleborn.
I can tell. I was like, what is this guy doing on his phone? But it all makes sense now.
Yeah, and that wasn't like the most showy performance or anything.
No, it wasn't. But going off what you said is the reason I'm picking Mads. I feel like it's between either Mads or Norman, but I feel like Mads is the more like people would overlook Norman because he doesn't say much in the game and he just roll around and he just gives you thumbs up in the game and whatever else he does. But whenever Mads Mikkelsen shows up in the game, you're like, he is a fucking character. Like
I feel like from an outside perspective, from the little bits of Death Stranding I've seen, there seems to be so much range in Mads Mikkelsen's character that there isn't for Norman's character.
Give me back my baby. Give me back my baby.
Yeah.
I
don't think. Yeah.
The Oscars like to reward nudity.
I mean, yeah, a lot of ass in this game. I'd say I haven't played Gears 5, but I've seen some people online being like, "Oh man."
I really wanted to vote for Laura because
like,
even from the parts I've played of Gears, like her performance in it's fantastic.
Well, it's like Ashley Birch's performance is really good too, but it's like she's a side character, like her story is great.
It's a pretty small
role. I don't think
her being nominated is surprising. I think it wasn't as media role.
I think if there was like best supporting performance or something, she would fit perfectly in that, and she'd win that.
Yeah.
I just don't see that especially when the rest of these performances are fairly like larger characters or larger roles in the game.
It's also like both the Control nominations, they're both really good performances. I would say if I had to pick one that people would vote for out of those, it would be the Matthew Peretta one because his character is just live action video basically in the game, and he's like dressed up as a professor, and you watch him on like these videotapes you find throughout the game and stuff, and he plays a rather eccentric character, and he's basically the person giving you story throughout the game as you kind of progress. It's like any other year, but Control sits in this weird position because it's like it's Death Stranding, and then it's like. I feel like
I think if it hadn't been for Death Stranding, Control would be in a much better position.
I think it would too.
I
feel like Death Stranding is it's either one. I feel like it's where everyone's votes are going to go, one way or the other. Ongoing game: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Ciaran.
Fortnite.
What?
I think Fortnite this year has displayed. You know what? This year compared to any other, last year I memed on Fortnite a lot. Start of this year I memed on Fortnite. I have a lot of respect for Fortnite now.
Oh, what kind of
because
grown as a character.
I've grown. I've showed character growth. You could say, yeah. I think Fortnite has really shown how to be a great ongoing game. What they've just done with their Chapter 2 release, the in-game events that happen. I don't think it's something you can overlook compared to these other games. The other games are fantastic going forward. I think overall they're all fantastic. Final Fantasy 14 for me is probably the weird one because it's one that's always there, but I don't think it's really
got a big update this year and everything.
It's just, but yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah, Ash.
Fortnite. Yeah.
What?
I mean, they literally broke the internet.
Yeah,
like people were watching streams of a black hole for like 12 hours because of that game.
Yeah, I'm picking Fortnite as well. I feel like none of the choices even get close to Fortnite's year with everything that Fortnite's been doing. And it's weird because last year we were like, Fortnite's year's over, and then they just continued to smash it this year, obviously. So hard to put it. I would say like obviously Apex Legends is quite up there as well in my mind. Like I'd probably put Apex Legends second. That game released this year, and they've been pretty consistent with updates and new characters and battle passes and weapons and skins and all this sort of stuff. So I'd say it's had a pretty good like launch year as far as a new game amongst those. The rest of them are old, so. Best narrative: A Plague Tale: Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, The Outer Worlds. Ciaran.
I hate you for making me go first on every single one of these so badly because I just like there's this part of my brain that I'm like, I should just pick Death Stranding. It's the obvious choice here. Then the other part of me is like, yeah, but Death Stranding can't win every award. They've got to throw something to something else. Maybe I should switch it up now. Yeah, but my brain, it's like when you do a multiple choice test and you keep picking A's and then you're like, well, there's got to be a C somewhere around here, right? I'm going to go with Control.
You haven't played Control.
I haven't played Control and I haven't played Death Stranding. And those are the two that kind of reach out for me. And this is why I'm at a disadvantage. But I think narratively, I think Control may be a stronger game narratively because it isn't as Kojima'd. Where I think Kojima's game is a whole experience. It's not just the narrative.
You say that, I would say you're wrong.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying Death Stranding.
That's fine.
Control story makes about as much sense as Death Stranding. It's less weird.
Oh, does it really?
It's less weird, but it's also just as fucking sci-fi weird shit that's happening. I've seen people online be like, I just finished this game. Why the fuck do people like it? And nothing happens. And I'm like, you don't get it, dude. I find this one a hard one. Once again, trying to play the meta game. I'm like, would people pick Death Stranding over all this stuff? I'm going to go, this is one where I'm going to go kind of crazy. And I'm actually going to say A Plague Tale. Because I feel like people have played that game. Like when it came out, it was getting pretty decent buzz.
Have they though?
Well, like at certain outlets, I wouldn't say you're general.
I know a certain person was like really up that game's ass and then just never played it.
Oh, I made of money. It was fucking $80. Jesus Christ.
You've just bought it though.
I did just bought it. I just bought it.
You just purchased it on Steam.
So next week we'll find out if he regrets his choice.
Hopefully I get to it. I don't know if I've got other shit I need to play and review first. But then I'm like, do I jump into that or Disco Elysium? It's a hard choice. Maybe I do Plague Tale because I could probably finish it, whereas Disco Elysium's like 30 hours or whatever, so that's like the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got like 2 other things I need to finish for review first. Plague Tale. I feel like people did play it, and if it's going to win anything, that's its one, it's one Hail Mary.
It's the one thing it's nominated for, so.
One Hail Mary. Multiplayer game. Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Ciaran.
This category's fucked, right? Like, how is games like Fortnite not in this category? I'm so confused.
I guess it's new multiplayer. Maybe
and
like the description.
Tetris.
That had to be new games.
Tetris 99 is it's multiplayer because you are with randoms. I don't know. It's just
technically it is multiplayer. It's not like.
I mean, there's an update I believe where you can play split screen.
I'm gonna go with Borderlands 3.
Ash.
I'm going to go with Apex Legends.
You see, if this was closer to the start of the year, I'd say definitely on Apex Legends. But I think Apex has died a really hard death in the last 6 months. Not death, not die, but
it just kind of stagnated.
It's stagnated and lost a lot of its
Steam
momentum.
But you got to remember, at the start of the year, it was the number one game on Twitch and that kind of stuff. So.
I'm picking it. I'm picking it. I feel like that's a game that, it had a lot of attention all the year. I know people still play it. It's not dead. Let me look up their fucking Twitch numbers after this thing, Mr. It's dead. It's probably still got heaps of people.
I'm looking at it right now.
You look up Twitch streams. You look up Twitch streams and something there.
Let me
tell me
look
the
at
game's
Apex
dead.
Legends.
But it's like, I'm like, no one's voting for Tetris. The Division 2 would be it would sit in the middle of people's votes. Borderlands 3, I'm sure, would get some votes. Call of Duty ain't going to get it because if you read my 6 out of 10 review, the multiplayer is not very good.
So Apex Legends currently has 10k viewers.
Yeah.
On Twitch.
Game's dead. It's only got 10k viewers. Game's dead. Fucking hell, Ciaran.
It's about as dead as Overwatch, and Overwatch is only got 14.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Overwatch
is dead?
Overwatch is dead at the minute.
Thank God.
I think you need to work on your the definition of dead.
You did the definition of dead.
I mean, if you consider that Apex Legends, Overwatch, and Battleborn are all dead, I think you've got something wrong there.
Let's get one of these games into its own category. Best mobile game: Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sky Children of Light. What the golf? Ciaran.
You love saying what
I
the
do.
golf
It's very
like
good.
that.
It's very good to say.
I'm going to go with Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Sayonara. Ash.
I'm going to go with Grindstone.
I'm going with Sayonara Wild Hearts as well.
Oh, I was wondering if Dylan was going with his head or his heart there.
No,
because I feel
I'm going with my
like...
head on this one.
Okay.
I'm going with my head on all, I feel. But
There's a lot at stake.
my heart would falls to what the golf really, actually. But what the golf? Or Grindstone. I played, obviously, I've played a fair share of Grindstone. But no, I feel like Sayonara Wild Hearts, when people think about that game, they definitely think about it as a mobile game, even though it's available on other systems and stuff. So I feel like if people are voting for it for anything, it's probably the mobile category. Best independent game: Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds, Untitled Goose Game. Ciaran, I had to make sure to say make sure I didn't fuck it up. I was like, Outer Wilds.
Wilds, Out of Worlds, fuck. You know, I've got to go with our boys in old Melbourne. I'm going to go with Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah? Locking in?
Yeah.
Ash?
As much as I'd like to see Australia go back to back, oh no, they didn't. I'm thinking of a mobile game. I think it's going to be Disco Elysium.
All right, this is, I think, the first one we're going to go everywhere. I'm going to go Outer Wilds on this one.
No, we've gone everywhere on narrative.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah, we went three for narrative.
I
don't know.
My heart pick would actually be Katana Zero, I feel. As much as I like Goose Game, but...
I feel like Goose Game was just so massive, though.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, to break past into the casual gamer market as well as it did, I just think...
Yeah, we got to look past the memes and look for what people would be picking as critics, I guess. Next one, Games for Impact. In case people forget what this category is, it's games that have something meaningful to say or put out into the gamer world. Concrete Genie, Gris, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, Sea of Solitude. Ciaran.
I think, because I don't know, I know one of these games. No, I know two of these games. Maybe three.
Maybe three.
Maybe
It's not
three.
like 2K
I haven't
anyway.
played any of them. I feel like they have bought my vote, so I will say Concrete Genie.
Did they buy your vote?
Well, yeah, Exposure Network got into a video.
You feel obligated to pick for them? That's going to make it really awkward when it comes down to me. Ash.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Concrete Genie as well.
Ooh. Bought his
You're going to go with Life is Strange 2.
I'm going with Life is Strange 2. That's a head pick as going.
Should it even be valid?
Yeah, it's really because last year
Surely it'd still
they
be
had
eligible.
Last year, I'm pretty sure they had episode 1 nominated. I think.
They did, because we lost our... we were like, what the fuck is this episode on its own?
Yeah,
like,
I think we remember.
Yeah, so what? Is it 2, 3, and 4 nominated?
The whole game now, I guess. It just says Life is Strange 2, so I guess they're just putting everything.
even though
chapter
it
1
isn't
to
like
5.
the whole...
It's out.
No,
The
like
whole
the
game
whole
is
game
out
got lazy.
on December 3rd. The last episode comes out.
On December 3rd.
So technically, at the point,
What about the cutoff? The cutoff, guys.
yeah, I don't know. There's either way. I feel like people would still vote for it. There was 4 episodes. 4 episodes were available when people were voting. I feel like that's enough for people, and I feel like it would be the most played here. Honestly, if I had to pick my heart pick, I gave Concrete Genie obviously a 10 out of 10 on Explosion Network. I didn't review it, but if I had to pick a game that suits this category, Games for Impact, I would probably pick Kind Words. I wrote an article about that on explosionnetwork.com. It's a game where you literally, you can write a note and you send it out to the internet in a wild, and it can be like, hey, I'm having a hard time right now because like life is getting me down and work sucks, blah, 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 blah. And you send it out to the world, and then another player will read your note and can just write back to you and be like, you know what, man, you should keep at it. Everything will get better, blah, blah, blah. The whole game is built on literally randomly connecting players and having them say nice things to one another, kind words. Like, I feel like that game fits the category for a pinch more than any other game. Like, its whole game is about having an impact on people, you know? And I played that for a couple hours. I was like, wow, this game's like really weirdly emotional to sit here and read people's letters and answer them and stuff, you know? So yeah, that would actually be my heart pick if I had to pick one. Game direction is next. Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, The Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds.
Got it right.
Every time I go to say the, and that's what I think causes me to fuck up, but Outer Wilds doesn't have the at the start. It's just Outer Wilds, whereas the Outer Wilds...
It's a real shame that they're not in the same category.
Yeah, what a nightmare that would have been. Ciaran, what are you feeling here?
I'm going to go with Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Oh, no, I changed it. No,
first answer.
I'll let you change it, but once we move on, there's no changing. Once it gets to the next person, there's no changing. What do you want to change?
No, that's why I backed up before anybody moved. Okay. No, I'll go Death Stranding. I think I read every other game in my mind but Death Stranding before I spoke.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Death Stranding.
Yeah, I'm going Death Stranding as well. Because I feel like people could be like, that game's a mess, but also Kojima directed the hell out of that mess. I feel like that game under a bad director would be a mess. Is like the thing. I know a lot of people think the game's a mess, obviously, but I feel like the reason the game isn't, considering how weird and whatever it is simply because it's been directed by someone who handles the weird and craziness of it. All right, fresh indie game presented by Subway. These go developers for certain games, which I like that they do. It's like the reward is going for, it says fresh indie game, but really it's fresh developer award because the awards are for developers anyway. Zayam for Disco Elysium.
Yeah. All indie games are new, fresh.
Yes.
It's not like they're remastered.
No. Zayam for Disco Elysium. No. Normada Studio for Gris. Dead Toast Entertainment for my friend Pedro. Mobius Digital for Outer Wilds. Mega Crit for Slay the Spire, and House for the Untitled Goose Game. Ciaran.
I'm going to go House for Untitled Goose Game.
Bringing on waving the flag over here.
I'm doing it.
Ash.
I think this is where House picks up the award. The award presented by Subway. Subway want to be associated with the biggest, most profound one of these indie games.
I don't think Subway's picking the award, but
I think they are. I've seen Community.
Okay.
Subway have a lot of power.
I'm picking House as well for this one because I feel like people it's like you're not voting for the game, you're voting for the studio, so maybe people are more like willing to vote for it here since it's like mega memeing success and internet takeover. So I feel like it makes more sense. The next category. Fighting game, Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Ciaran.
I'm going to go with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Ash.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I'm going Mortal Kombat 11.
Ooh.
I feel like Super Smash is like the go-to, the one that makes the most sense. But then I'm like, are people kind of sick of it? Like, are we getting it to the point where like people are sick of Smash? Like,
no, they're not.
No, okay. Just me then.
I mean, it's not Melee, but
it's not Melee, guys.
It's no Melee, but it's Ultimate.
It's alright, I guess. Yeah, no, fuck it.
Say it like a true, GameCube fanatic.
I'll be the outlier here. Mortal Kombat. By the way, I've never heard of this Samurai Showdown game until it was nominated at all. Family game. Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Yoshi's Crafted World. Ciaran.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Luigi's.
Luigi's.
Ash.
I'm also going Luigi's Mansion 3.
I'm also going Luigi's Mansion 3. It has to win something, so this is like the category
This
to
is
win.
the category.
Yeah. Also, I don't think any of those other games are as much fun for kids. Let's bring Fit Adventure, get the whole family fit, guys. Let's do it. All right, so we're jumping into the esports category of stuff here now. I'm going to randomly pick stuff out of a hat.
This will be where it's won and lost.
Yeah, it's the one where it's the decisions come hot. So esports. By the way, when we get to team players' names, boy, am I going to have a great time. Esports team: Astralis, G2 Esports, OG, San Francisco Shock, Team Liquid.
I'd like to. Can I go last for these? I'll let you guys go first.
You want to just swing it around because you want special treatment?
I want to swing it around.
Why?
I want to change it around for esports.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll give it to you. Fuck it. Why not? Sure. All right, I'm going to pick G2. Ash.
Team Liquid.
I think you pick the same thing every year, don't you? You're like, I know the name. Team Liquid.
I know that
name.
one.
I'm going to hang by it. I'll go with OG.
Do you want to explain your picks?
OG is the first 2-time winner of the Dota 2 International. They won it back to back. Both years, they were both underdog stories going into the largest tournament of the year for Dota 2. Their story is really, really interesting and what they went through to go to get the 2 titles. I think there was a good case for San Francisco Shock as they dominated the Overwatch League this year, picked up the whole Overwatch League.
They shocked the system.
Wow.
They did shock the system, You could say that. Australis had a fantastic year in Counter-Strike as well, and really made a name for themselves.
So what you're saying is all the ones that except were the ones we chose.
The one that I'm not overly familiar with is G2 Esports.
League.
Team Liquid is Team Liquid though. Like they just have generally good years. Like, and they branch out into so many different esports that they just kind of exist everywhere. So it's always a safe pick if you go with them.
Esports player. Strap in. Kyle Booger, Geardog, Lee Faker Sung Hike, Luca Perks Pervokic, Alexandra Simple Costa Live, Jay Sinatra won. I'm going with my same pick I pick every year because I know them.
Faker.
Is Faker. Ash.
I'm going to go with Sinatra. Sinatra?
Whatever. Ciaran.
I'm going to go with the alien boy himself, Jay Sinatra Wong. Sinatra had probably the biggest year in Overwatch in history. He was the MVP of the Overwatch League as a whole this year. He won Overwatch League. He went on to win the World Cup in Team USA. His story this year has been fantastic, and I think Faker always has a consistent year. And Booger, I believe, is the Fortnite World Cup winner.
That sounds familiar.
And I'm not too familiar with Perks or Simple, but I think Sinatra he went on. He was on Jimmy Fallon.
Sinatra.
And he represented esports really well this year, so I would, yeah.
Every time you speak, I regret my choice. Esports host. Effie Shocks.
Let's go.
Effie Shocks. Deputri. Alex Machine Richardson. Oh, thank God, an easy one. Paul Red-Eye Shaloni. Alex Golden Boy Mendez. Duan Candice Yusheng. Sure. Candice. I'm presuming it's not Candice. I'm going to go with the one person I vote for every year, which is Shocks. Ash.
Also going with Shocks.
Okay. Ciaran.
I'm going to go with Alex Golden Boy Mendez.
Is that an Overwatch person or?
He not only does Overwatch, he represents a number of different esports. He's a fantastic host. He was on one of the hosts as well, transcending beyond esports now. He went as a host on The Rock's ESPN series. I can't remember.
The Rock had
what
an
it was called.
ESPN series?
Yeah, like he had some kind of like gladiator style series,
that's right.
and Golden Boy was the host of it, and he's also part of AEW Wrestling's broadcast team. So he's kind of transcended beyond esports, and I think he's a really good representation of esports.
No time for esport hosting, so he definitely won't win. Shokes won last year, so hopefully we're going back to back.
What did you just call it?
Shokes.
Shokes.
I like how that's the one
Oaks.
because it's spelled SJOKZ, and if I didn't know how to pronounce it properly, I would probably fuck it up too, to be honest. So, but it's just Shokes. Esports game of the year: Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends, Overwatch. I'm picking League of Legends. Ash.
Overwatch.
Ciaran.
Yeah, I'm going with Overwatch as well. I think it had a fantastic year for the Overwatch League. It had regular viewership on ESPN. It is continuing to kind of establish what esports leagues can be and should be. League of Legends is always a good pick, except for their shambles of a World Cup event this year. Dota 2 had a fantastic year. CSGO is finally getting back on its feet as Valve seems to remember that game exists.
I think Valve only just realized it had games in general, full stop.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit, we better start looking after these games again. Fortnite, it's been a year, but here's some content updates. Like, here you go. It's like, fucking hell. Okay, Valve.
Esports events. 2019 Overwatch Grand Final, Evo 2019, Fortnite World Cup, IAM Katowice 2019, League of Legends Championship 2019, International 2019. I'm going with the International. Ash.
I'm going to go with the Fortnite World Cup.
I'm sure it was a banger. Ciaran.
I'm also going to go with the Fortnite World Cup.
Was it an actual banger?
It was the largest single prize pool for any single player to ever win. It was a really good event for Fortnite overall. For me, I hope the International wins. Like, I hope that you get a point, Dylan, but I think for these selections, I think Fortnite does take this one.
I went off my League of Legends. I pick League of Legends stuff for every category but this because the finals were shit.
They were garbage.
Yeah, they were shit. The one thing I try and watch every year and it was fucking shit. Eric, Adrian Hong, Nuri Kane Jang, Fabian Grabs Lone Men, Kim Koma Jong-gun, Titonian, Shox Shaka Merlos, Danny Sonic Sorensen for esports coaches. You know what? Here's the thing. My problem with these. I'm going to be honest. The people's names I struggle with the most are the fucking European ones. They put bloody J's and all sorts of letters and places where you don't expect. Esports coach. I'm going to go with. Actually, I don't know. Fuck it. I'm going with this Sonic person. Cool. Danny Sonic. Got to go fast. Ash.
Kane.
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 Ciaran.
I'll go with Soshka.
Yeah? Who's that?
Soshka is the Team OG's coach who won the international game for Dota 2. I am not aware of anybody else's. I did just do some quick underground research, and at the Esports Awards, Zonic won the Coach of the Year. Just.
What did I vote for? Who did they do?
You voted for Zonic.
Yeah, but what did they do? Like, what?
Coach of the Year.
What do they coach though?
I don't know.
I was like, what game?
On this. Let me.
You find out the coach while I read the next award. Because it's not esports, but it might as well be.
Oh, it's CSGO. He's Australis' coach.
Smash him.
Yep.
Content creator of the year. Courage, Jack Dunlop. Dr. Lupo, Benjamin Lupo. Ewok, Solili Wheeler. Gravk, David Martinez. Shroud, Michael Grezdick. Grezdick? Oh my God.
Shroud has the hardest name.
This job's hard, guys. I'll tell you. You don't want to be in my seat for this when we come around to these parts. I'm gonna lock in my Ewok vote. Ash.
Ooh, going with the heart. We're going with Shroud.
Ciaran.
I'm going to go with Courage. JD.
Oh, I just had to look. I'm like, which one's Courage again? Okay, we got it.
the one written Courage, and then JD is Jack Dunlop, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's whatever.
Why? What they do?
I think Courage did a really good job of kind of pushing himself beyond the game that he plays and making himself a figure within games content creation. I think he managed to stretch out beyond just Fortnite that he was playing. He did the Ariana Grande video. He is a prominent member of 100 Thieves, and he just signed a contract with YouTube Gaming. I think he's very well positioned at the moment.
Cool. All right, so moving out of the esports stuff now, back to the real games. Back to the real awards here, guys. Community support. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Back to you, Ciaran.
Community support. Fortnite.
Good sir. Ash.
I'm going to say Rainbow Six Siege.
Really? Also an interesting set of events. I'm going to say Destiny.
What made you pick Siege, Ashley?
I don't know. I just think that community looks like it's very supported.
Okay.
Random game of the year. Why'd you pick that, Ash? I don't know. It just looks like it was a best one of the games of the year.
Just looked like the best game of the year to me.
Why'd you pick this one for the next category, audio? Just like, oh, well, it sounded good when I played it. And
I mean, we all know the story of Rainbow Six Siege, that it was pretty much dead on arrival and was resurrected.
Direction? Clearly, it was directed well in the art variety. Jolly good.
Oh dear. I'll pick a Destiny though, because I feel like they've had a good swing around, and their openness to talk about stuff has been a lot better now that they're out on their own, away from Activision. And the openness of just being like, yeah, we fucked that up, or like, here's the thing we're working on. Oh, we're working on a patch for this. Like, here's this content. Like, now that they're by themselves, they seem to be a lot more open with what they're doing. Audio design. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Control. Death Stranding. Gears 5. Resident Evil 2. Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. Ciaran.
I'm gonna go
Death
with just randomly out of left field, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
All those death sounds. Well designed. Ash.
I'm going to go with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I remember someone telling me that they made a big deal out of the audio in that game. So I'm going to back that person's thought process. I can't remember who it was. But yeah.
10 out of 10. I'm going with Call of Duty Modern Warfare because I think in my review I mentioned that the audio design is really good in the game.
Maybe that's where you heard about it.
Maybe that's where I heard it. No, or maybe it was like last week when we talked about the nominations. That you mentioned it.
Could be a possible thing. Yeah.
I like it that people listen to what Dylan says, but then when they try to remember it, they're like, nah, it wasn't Dylan that said that. No, it must have been somebody else.
Running joke, I think. Art direction. Control. Death Stranding. Gris. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. The Legend of Zelda. Link's Awakening. Ciaran.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Is that your pick or are you just reading it?
Yeah, no, that's my pick. Yeah.
The way you said it was like, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Let me think about that.
Where does this game come from? Yeah, no.
Ash.
Go with that.
I'm going to go with Gris.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I haven't played it, but every time I see a screenshot, it certainly does look like it's had some art directed.
Yeah, it's beautiful, yeah. They've really directed them artists to do that art.
I'm going with Control. I feel like this is not a safe pick because I feel like I think Control has really amazing art direction, but I feel like to a lot of people it could come across like it has none because it's a lot of like white corridors and stuff, but then that's also part of the art direction. Like that is a choice, so I'm going to go with Control. Best action adventure game. Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Which one are you picking, Kieran?
Resident Evil 2.
Best action adventure game. Ash.
Gotta go Death Stranding.
Really? That's interesting. I'm going back to Resident Evil, so enjoy yourself.
Because I think, mark me wrong, but generally, Game of the Year doesn't tend to win the category that it's in as well.
Don't know. I'm pretty sure that God of War won the action adventure category last year and then proceeded to win Game of the Year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or action game, whichever one it was.
Yeah, I think it did. But I'm giving this a break solely because, like, even I, as someone who loves Death Stranding, wouldn't consider it an action adventure game. It's a Strand game.
It's a Strands game. I knew it. I got him. Yes.
Damn, he sees my jokes coming too fast. No, I feel like Resident Evil 2.
How much do you think he pitched Jeff Keighley on?
What?
Do a best Strand game.
Best Strand game. No, I don't think he would do that. I think he's like, it's the first of its, because he's the one out there going, it's the first of its kind. So who's in the fucking nominee category, Bill? Resident Evil 2 is a game that everyone loves, obviously, all year since when it came out, like February or whatever. And I feel like it's
January, I think.
Hey, was it January?
It was January, wasn't it?
Late then.
End of January, early February.
Yeah.
It was.
But everyone's like, it got like really high awards. I feel like it's going to be on a lot of people's top 10 games of the year list, and this is like the only category I can see it winning. So I feel like it has to win it. So that's why I'm picking it. Best action game. Also, it's weird how they have best action adventure and then also action game. They need a solo adventure category, if you're going to do solo ones for separate things. Then Death Stranding would win. Best adventure game, Death Stranding. But best action game nominees, Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, Metro Exodus.
Exodia! Obliterate!
Every time I said it for like the last year, people continue to tell me else. Now I just do it. Kieran, what are you picking?
Can I say I love how Astral Chain is just randomly here.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I was a thing.
I was a game that existed.
Remember me?
Yeah.
Gears 5.
Ash.
I'm going with Astral Chain.
Interesting. I'm going to go with Devil May Cry. So, I mean, well overplayed. I understand that Astral Chain got heaps of reviews, but this is one of those ones where I'm thinking it won't get as many votes because I still feel like it wasn't that heavily played. So, don't know. Probably got a high chance of Gears 5, though. I don't know. That.
Be my devil trigger.
Well, I mean, if it's who's played it the most, then Call of Duty or Apex Legends would be.
No, well, it's not just who's played it most, but I'm taking that into account when I'm thinking who would vote for stuff. All right, so the big one. Big time. Settle down, everyone. Take your seats.
It's going to be the most boring one. Do we all just want to put our names next to Death Stranding now, or
so you say?
Do you want to go through and go,
what you think.
Kieran? What do you want?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Wow. You going to do the same thing when they're about to announce the award? Like, Jeff Keighley is presenting the Game of the Year award. He specifically chose to deliver that award. Are you going to go out and say who it is?
I wonder if he will do it. Anyway, the Game of the Year nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, The Outer Worlds, and Kieran, what are you picking?
Death Stranding.
Ash, what are you picking?
Death Stranding.
I'm also picking Death Stranding. So yes.
I'm sorry, audience members. I tried to save you 30 seconds of your life. Dylan just was like, no, I want those as well.
We've gone this far. We might as well do the... Well, it's respectful to the rest of the nominees to give them their second... to at least read them out. You know? Don't give me that look. Jesus. No, I feel like that's Stranding. It's just... I feel like that's an easy vote, and then if something else wins, I'll be like, "Oh shit!" Like I will be legit shocked if it doesn't win. To be honest,
Kojima's already snuck into the trophy makers and started engraving his name onto it.
I mean,
he knows what's up.
He paid for a porter to deliver the budge. I don't know. All right, so that is our
DLC in the game. You have to deliver a bunch of Game Awards to Luden's fan.
Wouldn't surprise me if it's already randomly in there. Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah, so that is our picks for this. As I said, next week we'll be doing 5 trailer or reveal picks or what have you, that sort of stuff as well. So we'll add that to our ever-growing pool of stuff that can lead towards Ciaran eventually playing Overwatch. I mean, Battleborn. I mean, whatever. On stream. He wishes it was Overwatch. So we're going to be doing that.
I mean... At least if he plays Battleborn and gets addicted to it like he got addicted to Overwatch, it's only going to be around for another year.
Well, Ciaran will be back. Ciaran will be back in podcasting a year because the game's.
And I can't waste any money on it.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's better for you. We're trying to help you.
Yeah.
We're trying to help you over here. It'll be interesting next week doing it though, because now that Ciaran, we're trying not to lose, then people pick less memey stuff.
They are going to announce. Nintendo will announce a game.
I'm going to do so much more research in the next week for next week's podcast episode instead of just sitting down 2 minutes before we record and going, holy shit, let's write 5 things out on a piece of paper.
I also say, if someone said Nintendo announces a game, I'm going to overrule it. We're going to have a ruling system. If 2 people vote no, and we have to just be good about it amongst ourselves and be realistic about what we should and should not count, then I'm going to say that if someone's like, oh, Nintendo should have announced a game. That's a no. That's a no. That's a no. All right. Thank you for joining us on the couch this week. Make sure you check out explosionnetwork.com for all our other shows, reviews, news, articles, and much more. I think I'm going to put this... I might try and put this up as an article just so it helps me out in the future to remember all the... what we picked as well. So
predictions.
Yeah, I'm like, might as well put it up on the website if I'm going to save it in my own doc file. Review Arcade Couch on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser to help out the show, or simply share the episode on social media. Tag your friends in it, tag us in it. Do you need to do? That'll be great. You can follow the Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod. You can join our Discord at explosionnetwork.com/Discord. You can follow me on Twitter at Vivaladil, VIVALADIL. You can follow Ash on Twitter at Ashley Hoadley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. You can follow Ciaran on Twitter at YaBoyRingo. And we'll see you here next week. Same time, same couch.
Go vote in the Game Awards on GameAwards.com. All the categories, all the ones that me and Dylan
Vote for what I picked, please. Save me. Let Ashley play it on his potato.
I feel like potentially you got a handicap.
All
want
to see Ciaran play Battleborn.
I feel like you got a handicap for all the esports ones.